We bring you the morning edition of MPC News with me, Upile Kaisa. Coming up. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP-led administration assures Malawians of its resolve to address economic challenges facing the country. Government disburses 5.9 billion kwacha to over 27,000 beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program in Mangochi. And African countries urge to expand local medicine production to meet the continent's rising healthcare needs. And now the news in detail. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP-led administration, has assured Malawians of its resolve to address economic challenges facing the country. Vice President for the party for the Northern Region, who is also Minister of Transport, Jabi Mhango, was speaking in an interface meeting with the party members in Mzuzu. Musa Secheo reports.
DPP Vice President responsible for the Northern Region, Jabi Mhango, who is also Minister of Transport and Public Works, said Malawians made the right choice during 16 September 2025 elections by electing Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, saying no one could have saved them from the difficulties the country is passing through.
Efforts are being made vigorously to address particularly the issue of forex. The issue of food has been addressed. Now the prices of food, maize particularly, have come down. And that has, enabled our people to have access to food around the clock. Now people can afford a meal, 2 meals, 3 meals in a day because of that intervention. Similarly, the issue of fuel had been addressed. It has just resurfaced because of the geopolitics. The issues of forex will also become history. So the government is tackling all these issues holistically together so that this country is redeemed from this current economic quagmire. Malawians just have to be patient. We would like to assure them, the president would like to assure them that better days are on their way.
Meanwhile, the party has filled in the vacancies that were existing in the Northern Region party structures to ensure that it remains strong. Christopher Mzomera Ngwira is the party's governor in the North.
Those positions, they were not there. They were not filled. They were vacant. So when we were running the party, we could still feel that something is missing. That is why when we sat as executive, we had to propose those positions. So those positions, indeed, they will assist us because they were not there.
Some of the members appointed are Dennis Moyo as Deputy Regional Governor, Thomas Kumwenda as Regional Secretary, and William Kaweche as the Acting Director of Campaign in the region. Musa Secheo, MPC News, Mzuzu.
Government says it will rehabilitate the railway training school in Lembi Blantyre in order for it to continue serving its intended purpose. The Minister of Transport, Jabi Mhango, said that government will not demolish the facility as indicated by the previous government. Mhango said this on the sidelines of his tour of duty in Blantyre. He explains.
Well, this facility used to be our training school for railways, locomotive drivers, and all people associated with the railway. They were being trained here, but over time the place has been abandoned because of the dynamics in the sector. So much so that currently, these drivers are being trained at the premises owned by SIA. And therefore this place looks deserted. There was a decision taken then that probably the buildings here be brought down so that we erect new structures. With what we have seen today, it is very clear that that decision probably was a wrong one. So much so that with our visit today, that decision is reversed. What we are going to do now is to improve these buildings, make them better so that they can still be used by our ministry as well as railways. Because if you look at them, they're very solid, very in good shape. So we would want to maintain them. as they are, improve them inside, change the ambience so that they can still be used by our good selves. We will not demolish. After demolishing these buildings, it was going to cost us a lot of money. So we're going to spend money to bring down these buildings, and then second, to put up a new building, it was going to cost us money. That was probably not the best decision. It was irrational. It was not the best decision. We believe what we're doing today is the right decision.
Kamu's University of Health Sciences, KUHES, says plans are underway for the institution to establish a university teaching hospital. The revelations by Vice-Chancellor for the University, Professor Macpherson Malewa, come as the institution is commemorating 5 years of independence since the unbundling of the University of Malawi. Speaking to NBC, Malewa said having a state-of-the-art teaching hospital will bear multiple benefits, including saving foreign currency, ensuring equitable access to quality medical care, and promoting medical tourism. Malewa spoke to Tamvani.
State-of-the-art, high-tech university teaching hospital is our dream as KUHES. You know that every year Malawi spends millions and millions of dollars on external medical referrals, patients being sent abroad for specialist treatment, patients being sent abroad because some of the services, the expert medical services, are not available in the country. Malawi has got the potential human resource to be managing all these patients here. We just need the infrastructure and equipment. We want to reverse from external medical referral to attracting patients to Malawi. We believe in medical tourism. We've got the capacity to establish and improve medical tourism in Malawi. So if we develop the high-tech university teaching hospital, then we're talking about bringing medical tourism to Malawi. That's my biggest dream.
Meanwhile, Malawi has described the 5 years of the institution's independence as a success, saying the university has grown in various dimensions, including enrollment and the number of programs offered.
Since its establishment, KUHES has seen numerous number of programs that have been established. Some of those programs have undergone accreditation both locally and internationally. For example, the Bachelor of Occupational Therapy, accredited both within Malawi Benche, but also internationally by the World Federation of Occupational Therapists. We've seen an unprecedented increase in the number of our students. From the beginning, we've more than doubled. The numbers may look modest, but we are a health sciences training institution where quality matters. So we've also seen growth in research. At KUHES, over the past 5 years, there's been phenomenal growth in our research portfolio. It's therefore not surprising that last year we were ranked top 5 institutions in Africa, amongst the top 5 institutions in Africa in terms of research.
KUHES is a major of Kamuzu College of Health Sciences and College of Medicine, which were both constituent colleges of the University of Malawi. Government has disbursed 5.9 billion kwacha to over 27,000 beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program as part of ongoing government efforts to support vulnerable households in Mangochi. Speaking during a cash disbursement exercise for April, Principal Social Welfare Officer responsible for e-payments at the Ministry of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Gilbert Kaponda, said government is committed to uplift vulnerable communities and promote sustainable development across Malawi. Francis Banda has compiled this report, read by Dave Umar.
Speaking at a distribution event for April payments held at Koche Primary School in Group Village Headman Michesi under Traditional Authority Mponda in Mangochi, Kaponda said government remains committed to assisting ultra-poor households as it works to ensure that poor families in the country become self-reliant and resilient to shocks. Kaponda also noted that since payments are now being processed through mobile money Tiene Mpamba, the process has significantly improved the speed and efficiency of the disbursement process. He said the electronic cash transfer system has reduced delays while also minimizing fraud, which were concerns with previous methods of involving multiple personnel.
First, we should acknowledge the good relationship that we have with the partners. We have a very good relationship with the service provider TNM, who supports the council in all the payments blasting to the beneficiaries. But also we have a very good relationship with the council itself, because whenever we discuss issues to do with the beneficiary details, payroll management, data cleaning, we work hand in hand with the council and those that are responsible within the TNM offices.
Beneficiaries commended government for the support, which they said will help them to buy food after failing to harvest as a result of drought that hit Mangochi between January and February this year.
This cash will help us a lot. A lot of people did not harvest well this season here, and the money will help us to buy food and other needs such as school uniforms and exercise books for our children.
We are very thankful with the support of the social cash transfer program. We lack a lot of basic needs in our daily lives.
In his remarks, TNM Mpamba General Manager Christopher Sukasuka said TNM Mpamba will continue to ensure that all social cash transfer beneficiaries receive their money timely through e-payment.
Us as TNM Mpamba Limited, we are very excited and happy to be partners with government in this particular project, reaching out to know most vulnerable people in the country. With this mobile money transfer, mobile money transfers comes along with it lots of benefits. The first one being the financial inclusion. You've seen from the beneficiaries that are receiving money here, some of them have actually had that experience of financial inclusion for the first time through Mpamba. And in the past, government used to disperse, using manual processes, where, for instance, in this case, we've dispersed over 5.9 billion.
During the cash out, beneficiaries received between 124,000 kwacha and over 800,000 kwacha, as some had to receive in arrears due to challenges experienced when registering SIM cards.
The Central West Region of Police says it plans to install surveillance cameras in crime hotspots in the city of Lilongwe as one way of containing crime. Commissioner for the region, Mavuto Mbobo, made the remarks in Lilongwe during a security review meeting for the first quarter of 2026 involving Lilongwe, Mchinji, Ncheu and Dedza districts. Isaac Jali has a report.
Speaking in Lilongwe during the first quarter regional executive committee meeting, Commissioner of Police responsible for the Central West region, Mavuto Mbobo, held strengthened partnership between police and local leaders, which he said has improved security in the region. Mbobo said, among other things, the region is steadily reducing road accidents. However, he observed accidents involving motorcycles remain a concern. While on other crimes, Commissioner of Police Mavuto Mbobo disclosed that in 2026, the region recorded 1.5% increase of 3,565 cases as opposed to 3,510 in 2025. And he went on to disclose plans to install surveillance cameras in all crime hotspots in the city of Lilongwe to enable rapid incident response.
Lilongwe is harboring a lot of all the tribes in Malawi, and not all people who are in Lilongwe are doing businesses. Most of the people, some of them, they do illegal businesses. Therefore, it's not new with Lilongwe having an increase in crime. Lilongwe as a capital city, we don't have CCTV cameras, but our friends in Blantyre and Rim, they have got CCTV cameras. These they assist in tracing those people who commit offences on the streets of Malawi. Therefore, all those who will be patrolling, our officers patrolling the streets, they will be informed with our control officer in a control room.
Alfred Munika is vice chairperson for the Central West Regional Executive Committee, and he bemoaned increased cases of mob justice and suicide among men and called on community leaders to help reverse the trends.
We don't have to take the laws in our hands by killing or maiming or injuring suspected criminals. But we want to make sure that we arrest them. They should be brought before the police and go to court. The law should take its own course, not we should take the law in our hands. And we are also encouraging people to refrain from committing suicide, because we value their lives. They should value their lives as well.
The Central West Region of Police comprises 9 police stations in Lilongwe and the districts of Nchinji, Dedza and Ncheu. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP-led administration assures Malawians of its resolve to address economic challenges facing the country. Government disburses 5.9 billion kwacha to over 27,000 beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program in Mangochi. And African countries urged to expand local medicine production to meet the continent's rising healthcare needs. Welcome back. And now in business news, Malawian goods firms have been urged to enhance their investment in quality assurance and compliance towards achieving the national industrialization goal. The call has been made by Vice Board Chairperson of the Malawi Bureau of Standards, Tony Molana, during National Certification Award ceremony for local enterprises in Blantyre. Details in this report.
Government continues to push for local firms to enhance their production in the manufacturing sector towards growing the local economy. This is expected to enhance Malawi's exports, leading to improved forex availability. According to Maulana, investment in standard certification strengthens Malawi's competitive edge beyond the borders.
We are encouraging all the stakeholders to take quality as a priority. And when they have got those certificates, people have trust in their products, so that it has been certified by the Malawi Bureau of Standards, so locally, internationally, they will be recognized. We are a local organization which certifies local products so that they can be recognized worldwide. So this is very important, because if they are recognized locally, and then we get the international standards also, because we mimic what the international standards are doing. So we are a standard body, and then if we certify them, which means they are certified internationally as well.
According to the Bureau's Director General Simon Mandala, there has been an increase in the number of goods companies that have been certified this year. One of the companies that has been certified is Agrimo, a hose manufacturing firm. Anna Tokota is the company's representative, and she explains.
What I can say is today we are very, very happy and proud, and we thank Malawi Bureau of Standards for these awards, for being one of those companies that meet MBS quality standards. And this is not only good for us as a company, but it will build trust for our customers.
The Bureau has since issued 69 certification awards to firms in the southern region. Elin Jimoyo, MBC News, Blantyre.
Youth in the country have been called upon to embrace new innovations that will promote the growth of the mining sector. The call was made by Director of Mining in the Ministry of Energy and Mining, Barnett Msisja, during the launch and opening of Zozodo Gemstone Consultancy and Mining Limited offices in Lilongwe. Details in this report by Mpatso Mataya, being read by Austin Fukula.
Sika says government has reviewed its policies which are key to empowering innovative young people to help grow the mining sector. He points out that measures are currently in place to support those that are adding value through skills development in the sector.
We are also committed to facilitating for skills development to ensure that we are operating in an environment where operators are able to sustainably develop and exploit our mineral resources.
The former Vice President, Kumbo Kajari, who is also a Member of Parliament from Nzimba Southwest, commended the development, saying it will help Malawi in many ways, including employment for the youths, and he urged government to support such initiatives.
So I'm here to encourage them that they should continue with what they have actually started. Mining industry in Malawi needs the support of everyone because we have not done much, especially when it comes to the youth. And if you look at the 2063 agenda, I'm not very sure if people like me will be there. It is these youth that we need to encourage them so that they can do the right thing. And seeing young men like this venturing in this industry, I want to pledge my support. Also, let me ask government to help them grow their vision.
The Chief Executive Officer for Zozodo Gemstone Consultancy, John Chidule, says their focus at the central region will be in the purity checking, melting and making products such as jewels out of the minerals.
In terms of the gold sector, we are here to offer the service in terms of melting. We are here to offer the service in terms of purity check. We are here to offer the service in terms of gold smelting. More like we'll be making rings, we'll be making bangles that are purely made of gold. So for the local miners who have been struggling to check the purity for their gold, we'll be here with our machines, modern equipment to check purity, but also to increase purity.
The company opened its doors in 2019 as an initiative by students from Malawi University of Science and Technology, MUST, and currently has branches in Nzimba and Lilongwe.
Malawi joined the award in commemorating Firefighters Day with a call to communities to be responsible in preventing fire accidents as the first-line measure in reducing such incidences. Speaking to the media, Chief Fire Officer for Blantyre City Council, Prescott Silas, said there is a reduction of fire incidences in the city following their intensive awareness. Rashida Matandika reports.
According to Silas, despite inadequate resources in fighting fire incidences, sensitization to communities on prevention has proved successful, and most communities are now informed on how to avoid accidents at home and offices. He said their priorities lies in working hand in hand with communities, educating them on how to prevent accidents and the right time to call for help. However, Silas said the council is in need of high-capacity fire engines, which is now a challenge.
Actually, basically, if I say challenges, there's a host of them, but the main one is about fire engines. We don't have enough fire engines in the country, and those that are there, they've got very little water capacity, such that when we respond to fires, we are always going out to refill water. So that's a challenge, and it's a big one. Currently in the city, we have 3 functional fire engines, and 4 are grounded. And we are working tirelessly so that we have them on the road as soon as possible.
Internationally, the day is observed to honor the bravery, dedication, and sacrifice of firefighters, remembering those who lost lives in the line of duty and thanking fire services for safeguarding communities. Rashida Matandika, NBC News, Blantyre.
In sports, FDH Bank has lifted its temporary suspension on all sports sponsorship following constructive engagements with Super League of Malawi and other key stakeholders. The suspension was effected on 26 April following a failed launch match for its FDH Bank Premiership between Mighty Wanderers and Karonga United at Kamozo Stadium in Blantyre. In international news, African countries are being urged to expand local medicine production to meet the continent's rising healthcare needs. The remarks were made by the Kenyan President William Ruto at the World Health Summit in Kenya. Telson Magombo with a report.
Ruto highlighted problems facing African health systems in dealing with epidemics. He said Africa is facing a rising burden of chronic and infectious diseases, health financing, and other climate risks. He called for moving beyond fragmented health interventions to a comprehensive system of transformation.
Africa today stands at a critical intersection, defined by stark disparities and immense opportunity. We carry, on one hand, more than 25% of the global disease burden, yet account for less than 3% of global health expenditure on the other hand. We remain heavily dependent on external supply chains for essential commodities such as medicines and vaccines. We produce less than 2% of what we consume. Despite the dedication and resilience of our health workers, the density of our workforce remains significantly below global benchmarks. This imbalance is neither sustainable nor tenable. It calls for a decisive and deliberate shift from fragmented piecemeal interventions to a comprehensive and system-wide transformation anchored in coherent strategy, financed through both domestic and global capital, and sustained by strong governance and accountability institutions.
In her remarks, German Representative Brigitte Michael commended the summit's role in shaping the redesigning of the framework for health systems among African nations.
We need to prevent future epidemics and pandemics at the earliest possible point and ensure that people and countries have quick and equitable access to medical products. This is certainly a lesson learned from the last pandemic. The African Union has set itself the goal that 60% of the pharmaceuticals needed in Africa should also be produced locally. This is an important milestone for Africa and an important contribution towards global health security if we meet this target.
The summit was held under the theme Reimagining Africa's Health Systems, Innovation, Integration and Independence. Tesson Magombo, MBC News.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP-led administration assures Malawians of its resolve to address economic challenges facing the country. Government disburses 5.9 billion kwacha to over 27,000 beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program in Mangochi. And African countries urge to expand local medicine production to meet the continent's rising healthcare needs. For these and other stories, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Gaisa. Thanks for watching. Good morning.